Anyway, welcome to Wise Wealth University. That's my company, and I'm so glad you made it here today. I'm Janice Bell. I'm a real estate investor, mentor, and coach. And my company takes the mystery out of real estate investing and gives you step by step training. So today we're going to take a small piece of the direct mail marketing um, area and drill down into the 7 best criteria so you can have an excellent list to mail to. So, second course is a direct mail video course. I will go ahead and link over to that right now so you can see. It's really just the sign up page. So you just put in your email and you go directly to the 3 videos that teach you how to do direct mail marketing. So those are 2 free resources for you. The third resource that I want to show you is my Funding Mystery Challenge. And this teaches you how to use uh, private lenders to increase your profits and how to find private lenders to fund your deals and make it much easier for you to close on deals. So it's called the Funding Mystery Challenge, and we play it every week. You can sign up with your email and your name and start anytime that you want to. We have a new game going on in December, and this is what the course looks like on the inside. You can just type in Funding Mystery Challenge and go directly over there and click on the sign up button. Up in the upper right, there's a green button there, and that'll take you to the sign up page. The other way you can do it is to use this page here, and I will bring up the actual web address there. So fundingchallenge.smartmember.com/sign up, and on the sign up page, you'll be able to log in. It's a membership site, so you'll get, I'm going to show you the lessons here. You will see 10 lessons within the 7-day challenge. And we also have a Facebook group where you can record your progress. So you'll get a lesson every day, and I teach you how to find your own private lenders in the lesson, and you'll also get a check starting with $20,000. It's a pretend check, $20,000, and every day it doubles. And then you select what's the best way that you're going to use that money in your real estate investing. So those are the things I have for you, which would be super useful. Let's move on over. I'm going to come in and say hi in a bigger way there. So welcome to the show. You can see the ways you can contact me in the green at the top of the screen. Pink Professor on Twitter, Pink Professor on Periscope, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me at Wise Wealth University. So it's not really warm enough for the scarf, and I actually do this because I feel bad that it's so warm in California. And you guys are cold, so I want to make it look like it's a little bit chilly here, so I decided to wear a scarf. You know, it's probably 65 here today. All right, I'm going to move back over to the websites here, and I'll have the chat open. And let's look at our lesson for today. All right, so in my direct mail course, I teach you how to use ListSource as a way to find, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Firefox has a really new interface, which I'm not that happy with. So the chat box is over on the left. That's why there's a little gray area over there. I'm getting a warning that the stream's having some trouble. Okay, it's back on. All right, so I've zoomed in on this, and I don't know how easy it is for you to see, but that's as high as my zoom will go. So we're going to go over the 7 criteria that you can use. So I'm just going to do a reset and get right into the content. So welcome to my broadcast. It is Marketing Monday, and I'm here to teach you 7 tips to increase the effectiveness of your mail order campaign. So here's the criteria. I'm going to show you ListSource today. And on ListSource, we're going to talk about the criteria that you would use to set up your direct mail. So the first one is just the geographical area. And I've been talking recently about different marketing areas to use for real estate. And one of them has been Atlanta. And I've emphasized that on my Wednesday show where we talk about wholesaling. So because of that, I'm going to select Atlanta. And when you select these on ListSource, you can use the metropolitan area. That's why it says MSA under Atlanta. So you can select the metropolitan area around Atlanta. So it's not exactly the county, but it's where most of the people live around Atlanta, and it may overlap one or two counties. So I selected that. There's 2 million in that metropolitan area. So the first criteria is where you're going to select. Then I select the type of property. So within property, I have quite a few criteria. One is the number of bedrooms, 2 to 4 bedrooms, and then bathrooms 1 to 3. So by selecting it this way, it eliminates studios, 1-bedroom apartments, and things like that. The next important criteria is living area, and I'll just scroll up for the Instagram people there. For living area, I like it to be between 800 and 1,600 square feet. And I can't really do that exactly on ListSource, so I can do 500 to 1,000 square feet, and then 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. And you'll notice that most of the properties, there's 411,000 properties between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet. So that's sort of the majority, of the sizes. And I'll show you how we select that. Let me go up to living areas, because I could add in under property. I could add in another living area. I have 2 selected already. So for living area, usually, I just did this before I got on, it usually gives you, I guess I can add my own area. So 1501 to 18. I'm going to add that in. Okay, so let's let that update. All right, well, it's almost like it thinks I'm making a new list, but I already set up the criteria before the broadcast, so we're just going to go with what we've got at this point. So between 500 and 1,500 square feet is the living area. The next criteria is I want to select people that are in pre-foreclosure. In other words, they're late on their mortgage, they've had a 90-day late notice, and let's look at the number of people that we're going to send these letters to. Up at the top, I think it's the biggest number you'll see in orange. It says 371. So what I want to do is give you a reasonable number of letters to send initially, because it's hard to get this thing off the ground. So I don't want you to send thousands of letters, just 371. And I'm going to send directly to pre-foreclosure because they're in the most difficulty. So if I took out the pre-foreclosure from my list here, you'll see the number of properties jump way up. It's spinning. Everything's spinning right now. Trying to remove the pre-foreclosures. I've saved this list so I can always reload it. All right, let's let that do its thing while we go on to the next one. The next thing I did was pick property type, single family residence. So again, if I'm under property, I scroll down to the, here it says, I don't want style, I want type. I think I'm asking it to do too many things at once. So type, I selected single family residence. I selected bedrooms, bathrooms. Now you don't want to select too many criteria because it just makes the list more expensive. The other one I selected was pre-foreclosure in my list, single family residence, and then down at the bottom, it's still thinking about it apparently. Down at the bottom you'll see that I selected for a complete mailing list. That is very important. And I also selected to exclude corporate owned. And I'll tell you what corporate owned means. Corporate owned means that it's owned by an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp. So the reason I chose to exclude corporate owned is because I want you to be working with your basic homeowner, maybe someone who has a few rentals, but not a sophisticated investor, because they're not going to give you as good a deal when you try to negotiate with them. Okay, so I don't want people that are more sophisticated than you are and that have already set up companies. So I'm going to exclude LLCs, S Corps, C Corps who actually own the property. So that is what sets our criteria. So, we've got the area that you want to be in, number one, number of bedrooms, 2 to 4, number of bathrooms, 1 to 3, the living area, 500 to 1,500 square feet. Whether it's pre-foreclosure, I definitely want them to have an NOD because it shows that they're in distress, and I want a single-family residence. I don't want mobile homes. You could add in townhouses if you wanted to, and I want a complete mailing list so I can mail to them, and I also want to exclude company-owned. Now, here's another thing you can do when you go to options, and I want to show you, I'm going to try to refresh the page. Oh, shoot, it wants me to log back in again. All right, now it's going to think about it. So while it's doing its thing, see, here's my Atlanta, my list that I've selected. Okay, there's the 371 items or addresses and properties that are in foreclosure and that have all the criteria that we set up. When you go to options, I want you to see how the numbers can change. Sometimes people tell you to go ahead and mail to absentee owners. And if you do that, you're going to be mailing to a lot of people, and they may not want to get rid of their property right now. So you have to have a fairly long mailing list. And I want you to be successful right away. So the main thing to do is go to people in the most distress. And the people in the most distress have been in foreclosure. But I want you to see what happens if I change to absentee owners and take away the foreclosure criteria in this area. The other thing I want to mention, remember I said I exclude corporate-owned properties? That's right there in the middle. I also include trustee-owned properties. And the reason I do that is a lot of people that have a trust may only have one house in the trust, and they're not as sophisticated. They probably have the trust as a family trust, so they can pass on the property. So definitely want you to approach them, but I don't want the corporate-owned properties. And I want a complete mailing list. Now, what I'll do is go into the property, and I'll select the thing about foreclosure and see if I can kind of unclick that. And I'll give it no preference. And you'll see I have now 264,000 houses that meet the other criteria, but they're not in foreclosure. So they're single families, they're 500 to 1,500 square feet, 2 to 4 bedrooms, 1 to 3 baths in Atlanta, but they're not in foreclosure. So those are the ones you can work with. Now, how many of those are owned by landlords, which would be absentee owned. So right here, I'm going to click on absentee owned and show you guys for out-of-state owners and in-state owners, we now only have 60,000 properties. But I don't want you to mail the 60,000 properties. In-state owners they're going to be local. It's going to be easy for them to maintain the property. So let's just go down to out-of-state owners that are going to be in more distress. Now, there's only 5,890 of them. It's still a lot to mail to. You'd have to go down to individual zip codes to start mailing to out-of-state owners. So I'm going to leave that as no preference and go back to the property and say only the people in pre-foreclosure. Now we're back at 371 of the people. Hey, let's see, it looks like Dale is there. Thank you for joining, Dale, on Instagram. All right, so those are the people that can that we can mail to. All right. I'm going to check my Periscope here to see how it is. I don't see any comments on there right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me turn on Periscope, and I just want to turn down the volume. All right, so those are the criteria that we use. 7 criteria that I use in my mailing list. So if you would like to get started with some mailing lists, the best thing to do is to take my free video course on how to, let me show you where that is, okay? So you can go to Wise Wealth University, take my free video course. I walk through all the steps of doing the mailing, give you the letter that you need to use, give you a checklist, and I do a lot more extensive training in ListSource. So that's how you can get the direct mail course. And that's, I'm going to come over here. So that's definitely going to help you guys mail out to whatever criteria, whatever city that you want to invest in, and find the people that are the most motivated. The most motivated people are absentee landlords that have a vacant property, and you can't really tell that from ListSource. You can only mail to absentee owners. It takes often 7 to 10 letters to get an absentee owner to respond. But when someone's in pre-foreclosure, they basically have 3 months to do something about it before their house could go to auction. So they're way more motivated, and you can have a shorter, like you can mail them a letter every week, and they're going to respond to you. So they're going to be getting other letters too, so make sure you stand out. If you go to my resource page, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. On my resource page, I have a really good place for you guys to do your letters. Right here, number 4 on my resource page on my website, you can go to Yellow Letters Inc. The link is right there. And I've set up, let me see if the link works right now. I've set up a 10% discount for you guys. So for my students, people that I'm coaching, and anyone who listens to my webinars, I have a 10% off your order for postcards.